First and foremost, we had a couple festivals slowly but surely announce like, okay, we're going to have some sort of regulations in place. And then like dominoes, it's just been one after the other, after the other, after the other that's kind of come out. Hey there, welcome to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more, hosted by me, Emma Capotis. Each week, I'll be covering everything from dance music culture, industry news, trending topics, and festival tips, advice, and reviews. You can also expect to hear stories from ravers, artists, business owners, and more. Tune in every Wednesday for your weekly dose of peace, love, unity, and respect. Hey guys, this week's episode is brought to you by Rolita Couture. Rolita Couture celebrates women of all shapes, sizes, and colors, and their collections feature trendy and unique pieces that make you feel super confident. Check out their newest line, the Lunita Part 2, which features a beautiful pastel color scheme with lace detailing and an accompanying accessories line with lunatics. Head to rolitacouture.com to shop the new collection and use code EMMAK for 15% off your orders. That's rolitacouture.com and use code EMMAK for 15% off your orders. And do not forget, sexy has no size at Rolita Couture. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Rave Culture Cast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I'm your host, Emma Capotis. You guys, we have a guest today, and I'm hoping he remains quiet, but my dog Leo is visiting me for the week. This is the last day he's here, and the mailman just drove by a second ago, but he's calmed down now. So if you hear barking in this episode, I apologize now, but he's the cutest thing ever. So I have a little friend to get me through today's episode because I'm nervous. No, but seriously, before we hop into everything, where am I at right now, you guys? Honestly, the summer is flying by. I am getting ready for ARC Music Festival. My first one back, super excited about it. I'm still going to keep you guys posted on a meetup as soon as we have like maps, set times, all that good stuff. But I'm really excited for this festival because I'm actually attending it more so, well, for fun, of course, but more so for work. Some of you guys might know I work with this company called Seer Assets, and they have a bunch of different digital platforms and companies and brands in the festival space and dance music community. So one of the projects I work on is called Gray Area. I basically project manage it. Definitely check out our Instagram and our YouTube channel, but it's a hub for fans of house music and techno as well. And we feature incredible artist spotlights, all kinds of articles and things like that. So if you're a house music fan, definitely check out Gray Area. We're at Enter Gray Area on all socials. But essentially for ARC, since it's a house and techno festival, I'm going to be creating a ton of content for Gray Area. Definitely going to be like backstage doing interviews, hopefully with a bunch of the artists and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I can't believe that we're here and this is happening, but I'm so excited because this is like what I've been dying to do and what I'm like meant to do. So I'm so excited. So we're going to see a lot of fun content coming out of ARC. I will, of course, do a festival review after that's over, a full episode on it since it's a brand new festival. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I have a family vacation coming up, which I'm so freaking excited for because I just want to do nothing for a week. That is it. I just want to do nothing. I want to read a book and just like take an actual break before the craziness that is fall festival season. All right, you guys. So let's dive into things today. Really quickly, the only announcement I have this week is I am selling tickets to a bunch of Insomniac events. I'm a new affiliate, which is really, really exciting. But the big ones that I'm really excited about that I'm hoping to attend is EDC Orlando. I'm definitely going to that one, and Okeechobee. So I have tickets to both of them. And if you guys want to buy your tickets through a trusted friend and support me and my channel, I'll include links to EDC Orlando, Okeechobee, and I have other events as well. So if you guys want, I have Escape. What else do I have? I have Lost in Dreams. So if you guys are interested, just let me know and I can send you links, no problem. But EDC Orlando tickets and Okeechobee will be down below, and those are official links through Frontgate. Okay, let's jump into our artist highlight for the week. I'm really enjoying doing this, so let me know if you guys like this little segment because I love sharing new music and I've got some really cool people coming up. So this week we're talking all about an artist that I have genuinely been completely and utterly obsessed with Like, it's one of those artists that like didn't really know about them for the longest time, found out about them, and then this past like 6 months became one of my favorite like top tier artists. So we're talking about Vintage Culture. He is a Brazilian DJ and producer. I first discovered him on the EDC Mexico stream in 2020. And was like, who is this? This is such a good set. It was incredible. It was like more house, a little bit tech house. And then of course I look him up on Spotify and he has like 3 million streams. And I was like, wow, I've been literally living under a rock, because clearly he's a major fucking artist. I mean, if he's on main stage at EDC Mexico, there you go. But I can't even describe every single track he comes out with. I love, can't get enough. I'm immediately obsessed. Again, he's a little bit more on the tech house side, but he has been having a massive year. He's done some huge collaborations. So do not sleep on Vintage Culture. My favorite song right now, I've played it a million times, is called Free. The drop in that is unreal. His newest song that came out this past week is called Domino. Really good as well. He has a collaboration with Tiesto called Coffee. Amazing. And his Love Tonight remix, which everybody's heard that song now, but his mix is really good. So definitely check out Vintage Culture. Guys, I know you will love him. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. You know the drill. Rate, review, subscribe. Give us a follow at raveculturecast if you guys are interested. And with all that being said, let's dive into today's topic, because it's a doozy. Let me just say that. All right. So first and foremost, what I want to say about this before we like jump into things is I wanted to do this episode. This is impromptu because I have been covering the news in like my news segment, but it's been very short, and that's at the end. But because this is such an extremely hot topic right now, and there's been a lot of updates even within this past week, I wanted to do a full episode on it. I don't know how long this will be, but hope you guys are along for the ride. Please have an open mind. I hope you hear me out, and just know that I want to go about this topic as respectfully as possible, because I just want to share my thoughts and opinions on this, but I don't want you to feel like I'm bulldozing you with your thoughts and feelings on this topic, because I understand it's very personal. So just know that off the bat, I just wanted to like share my thoughts and just talk this through with you, because I think a lot of people are nervous, a lot of people are stressed, and people have very strong opinions about this topic either way, because we're going to be talking about the new COVID-19 regulations at most major festivals, and we're going to talk about vaccinations today. So here we go. God bless. I'm a little nervous, guys. Okay. So yeah, what we're going to chat about is the latest updates within the festival industry regarding the new COVID-19 protocols and guidelines that they've been putting in place. So like I said, I've covered this like case by case, but within this past week, and I'm keeping this as up to date as possible. Right now I'm recording on Saturday, August 14th. This will come out this following Wednesday. So who knows what else is going to happen. But let's dive into it. So first and foremost, we had a couple festivals slowly but surely announce like, okay, we're going to have some sort of regulations in place. And then like dominoes, it's just been one after the other, after the other, after the other that's kind of come out. So of course you have AEG Events, which is a huge event production company. And they own festivals like Electric Forest and Coachella and a bunch of others. So they came out and were with a very strong statement, essentially saying that all of their festivals up until October 1st, you will have to require either a negative COVID test result or proof of vaccination. And then after October 1st and moving forward, they will only accept a proof of vaccination. You have to be fully vaccinated, both shots, both working, to get into any and all of their events, which includes concerts and other live events. So that was a really big, bold statement. And then you had, specific events. So Insomniacs had a couple come out. Beyond Wonderland announced theirs. I believe that one was either negative test result or proof of vaccine. Bonnaroo was the same deal. We haven't heard anything at this point about either EDCs. We haven't heard anything about Imagine. A lot of the festivals in Chicago, I talked about ARC, North Coast, same deal, negative result or proof of vaccination. What other ones? I had it on my list here. Essentially like anything you can think of right now that's within the next month or two. Life is Beautiful, Base Canyon, Crush San Francisco. So there's a trend here, clearly. So it's going to be one or the other at this point. So that's kind of where we're at. I'll keep you posted in the EDM news segment with other ones that jump on board. But if you have tickets to any events coming up, guys, check out their social media or go on their website so that you can just at least be prepared walking into them, especially if you are not vaccinated and don't plan to. Read the rules and regulations because you may not be able to attend an event that you currently have tickets to, in which case you might need to read the refund policies. So that's kind of where we're going at. I'm going to make a super bold and clear statement here, fam. We will not have any festivals this fall if we do not have guidelines like this in place, point blank, period. Because there is absolutely no way in hell, with the way cases are going and with this new variant out there, that certain states are going to allow that many people. We're talking tens of thousands, if not 100,000 at some of these huge events. With zero regulations. Like, there's just no way these events will be able to continue because you can't have people freely flowing into massive crowds like that and not be checking their current health status like whatsoever. At least that's how I personally feel. You can't put people at risk like that. So if we want any events to take place this fall, there have to be some sort of protocols in place. And so this is the response that these events are coming out with. They want us to have events and shows just as much as we want to go to them. And the only way that's going to happen is if they are putting people's health, as a priority first. And they're also making sure that they don't have any issues and they're protecting themselves as well. And I think we can all collectively agree, nobody wants to go back into lockdown, correct? That was fucking miserable. I would like to not do that. I still haven't even attended my first festival yet. So of course my alarm bells started ringing because I was like, wow, it would really fucking suck if they were like, we're axing all events and I never even got to go to one, because I'm sure some of you guys listening have. Like, that would be horrible for everyone. That would be terrible for the industry. Like, they've already gone through enough. People lost jobs. They were out of work for a really long time. So I give so much credit to these organizers who are trying to continue the show as safely as possible so that things can still happen. People can still have jobs. This industry doesn't completely fall apart. And also you can go do the things that you love. Because I know there was a huge hole in my life missing when I didn't have shows and things like that. So that's kind of like where we're at right now with the latest announcements. The other thing with all of this too, that's tricky, is like, of course, like there's so many different things out there, right? Like there's a lot of misinformation, but I think the biggest thing is like still giving people grace and flexibility, because even though it feels like we've been in this panini for literally forever, we haven't been. So we need to be flexible and adapt to the changes, because there's so much new information. There's new variants. There's things coming out that are making this really difficult, and we have to be flexible and adapt. Again, if we want some sort of like normality, if you even want to call it that. So again, I think this was the logical next step for these events to take. And I'm pretty sure, like, I did talk to some people in DMs. My DMs are always open, guys. Like, I really try not to be super biased. I hear everybody out. But yeah, I think like at this point, I think hard summer people were saying there was like no regulations whatsoever. Like at this point, me personally, I would not attend an event because I would not feel safe knowing that literally anybody could have walked in here. Like you could have literally had COVID or currently have it and just be walking around freely giving it to whoever. So I think at the bare minimum, it should be a negative test result and proof of vaccine, like one or the other. Because again, if you, for whatever reasons, personally choose not to get the vaccine, I'm not here to talk about that today, but if that's your personal choice, then you should be able to take a negative COVID test to prove that you don't have it and then go into the event. Because that's like a slippery slope, because I was reading comments from people on these announcements, and I'm sure it's obviously not the far majority, but there are people who can't get the vaccine for specific health related reasons. And so like if they want to go to a show but they literally physically cannot get the vaccine, like obviously those situations really sucks. But then in that situation too, this is where like personal responsibility comes into play. It's like if you have a lower immune system, or you deal, what's the right terminology, if like you have a weakened immune system or you can't, I don't know if it's the smartest idea to be going into a massive crowd anyway. I had some friends who just went to Lollapalooza, and there are definitely ways like you can feel safe for an event. Hang out in the back, give yourself plenty of room, wear a mask the whole time too. If you really want to go but you still feel like a little bit nervous, even if you are fully vaccinated, like just wear your mask then. Cause like there are definitely ways to make yourself feel more comfortable. Don't let other people's judgment change you. If you want to wear a mask the whole time, wear it. Who cares what anybody else thinks? So there are definitely ways you can like still attend events and feel a little bit safer about them. But yeah, that comes down to a personal decision. If you're really, really nervous about it or worried, don't go, wait it out. But one thing I did want to discuss here, which I've been touching on, I want to just chat a little bit about what's happening in Europe, what's happening in the UK, lots of events there. They were hoping to have maybe somewhat of a normal summer. I know events were starting to get announced and it was looking like maybe they would have some festivals. And then of course, Tomorrowland is canceled and a bunch of other events get moved or canceled. I know Croatia, defected Croatia just happened. So there are some countries that were able to do events, which I think is awesome. But I know A State of Trance this past week just canceled. So they were supposed to be in September and they got pushed to February 2022. Elro was doing a big London town show that just got canceled this week. So they don't have like a full grasp on things yet over there, and their governments are not allowing them, like festival organizers, to move forward. There's this whole movement happening because there's not that much wiggle room here. So I don't know the full details, but I'm not sure if they're putting together plans that are similar, like a negative result or proof of vaccine, but I guess the government is being extremely strict, and they feel like it's enough of a risk to just not do them. So, you know, again, I just can't stress this enough. Like, we are extremely lucky to even have events happening this fall. And it's because enough people got vaccinated or because they're putting these regulations in place. So again, I see people online complaining about these new regulations, and it's like, dude, if you want to go check out Europe, they haven't had literally anything in almost 2 years. So I would stop complaining about it and just follow along or don't go. But we're extremely lucky. So come from a place of gratitude. These festival organizers are doing literally everything they can to make sure that they can do these events and do them safely. Again, for all the reasons I stated before, but I just want to put that out there because it's like very easy to be very narrow-minded and selfish and just think about you and your events and like your fun. But again, like that is such a huge hit to the dance music industry over there, where it's a huge part of their culture. So I can't even imagine how they feel and how some of these festivals and companies are going to survive if they can't have events for 2 years. We haven't had a Tomorrowland in 2 years, and they're not the only one. Mysteryland, like a whole bunch of other ones that are massive. So that's that on that. I popped off a little bit there, but okay, I'm going to chat a little bit now about my personal thoughts on these requirements. So I kind of said this already, but I personally believe at a bare minimum, it's one or the other. It's negative test result within the last 72 hours or 48, whatever you want to do, or proof of vaccination. Now, again, this is a lot to put on event organizers. Like this is like happening so quickly, like Beyond Wonderland's in 2 weeks, isn't it? So, you know, they have to have the dashboards in place. Like, where are you going to submit your test? Is this happening on site, or are you submitting this to some sort of like portal beforehand? Then you have to have the right security in place to make sure that they're actually thoroughly checking vaccination cards and things like that. So it's a lot to, just on a like a logistical standpoint, it's a lot to put together. So hats off to all these organizers who are even like throwing these plans together, because it's a lot. But at this point, what I do want to say is like these events are projecting out weeks ahead. They have all kinds of teams. They have risk assessment teams, health officials. They have meteorologists. Like, you guys, they have people looking at these events for months in advance. So they are predicting weeks from now where the case is going to be at based on the trends that are happening now. You know, how quickly can people catch things? All of those things. So if they're seeing in a couple weeks from now that because of this new variant, cases are fucking going up and it's not looking good, then they're making these calls now to make sure that they can still have the event and not cancel them weeks before. And again, the biggest thing, because I know this happened with EDC Las Vegas, the city or state that the event is in could change their minds at any point. They could change the rules and be like, nope, never mind, not a negative test result anymore, just proof of vaccination. And then the festival might be happening in a few weeks and be like, well, fuck, we told all of our patrons this, and now the state is saying this. So we still want to have the event. Sorry guys, but this is the rule. And you're going to have all these pissed off attendees and people suing and like whatever, right? It's going to be a mess. So again, there's so much out of their control right now that I feel for them. And it's changing so quickly. I know in New York, at least from what I'm aware of, I believe after August 16th, you have to show proof of vaccination to get into any like venues or restaurants and places like that, gyms. So that's like their standard at a bare minimum, which I know is like very limiting to people who aren't vaccinated. But again, like it's a personal choice. So that's kind of where we're at now. The only thing I will say, and like my fiance and I like had a talk about this yesterday, because it is interesting and I do see where this can be confusing. We now know at this point that people who are vaccinated, whether you only got one of your 2 shots or maybe I think they say it takes 2 weeks to fully kick in. So we have seen some cases where people who are vaccinated are getting COVID again and can still spread it. Now that's where I have to do more of my research. I'm not sure if you have less of a percentage, I'm sure, but if you are vaccinated of spreading it or getting it, then if you aren't, I'm sure you're a little bit more protected. But in that case, proof of vaccination only at festivals is also a risk because obviously somebody there could still technically have it and not know or still technically spread it. But then at least at that case, if you know that everybody in the event is vaccinated, then most likely all of those people will be completely fine. But again, it's a risk. So there is a part of me that's like, maybe the negative COVID test should be the standard too. Like even at the proof of vaccination events, maybe you should still submit a negative test result because, you know, if it comes up positive, you shouldn't be going. So that's something that they have to figure out. Again, the logistics of how that all works. But I do want to mention that because I know I've seen those comments come up. I've gotten plenty of DMs being like, you can still get COVID when you're vaccinated. Totally understand. So that might be an option. But I will just say, like, if everybody at the festival is like fully vaccinated, I don't think we're going to have like any crazy issues. It's just, again, if you go home, you live with people who are not vaccinated, things like that, then you're in trouble here. So that's kind of where I'm at. Again, I want to stress like the personal choices and responsibilities. Again, if you feel really anxious or stressed or you're not sure about it, maybe it's best to push your tickets to next year, or again, take precautions, stand in the back of the crowd, leave yourself plenty of space, wear your mask, bring your hand sanitizer, like do what you've got to do to feel better. There are definitely ways around it. Don't be up in the front of the crowd, not wearing a mask if that is like does not feel good to you right now. So there are definitely ways around it. See what feels best for you. For me, if it's for the safety of myself and for everyone around me that, you know, hey, Emma, you have to take a test and submit it to make sure you're good, I'm more than happy to do so. I don't understand why you would even question that. Again, it's doing the bare minimum, just saying, hey, I don't have COVID. Like, I think we can all get along with that. Hello. And then on top of that, if being fully vaccinated gives you that added comfort, then go for it. I know it makes me feel better. But that's a personal decision. So I kind of want to read some of your thoughts because I did do some polls on Rave Culture Cast's Instagram stories. So I asked 4 questions. I said, would you attend an event that has no regulations in place? And this was pretty interesting. 171 of you said yes, you would. And 195 said no. That's extremely close. That was way closer than I thought. I'm shocked that people would still go to an event with no regulations in place. My thought is maybe they're a lot younger people who voted that way, because if I'm in my early 20s, I'm probably not giving, well, that's not necessarily true. I don't know. I feel like when you're a little younger, you have an attitude of like nothing can touch you or hurt you kind of vibe versus when you're older. But I'm pretty surprised by that. I would rethink that, you guys, because like cases are going up and shit is not looking so hot here. So I would be a little weary of attending an event with like nothing in place, especially if you were unvaccinated. I'd be double concerned. So that was interesting. Do you think masks should be required at all events, both indoors and outdoors? 180 people said yes, and 174 said no. Again, almost 50-50 split. I'm still torn on this one. Indoors, like if it was an indoor festival, like say not even a festival, say tomorrow, like this weekend, Illenium was doing his trilogy tour. I think they should require masks 100% with that amount of fucking people. And especially it was in Vegas, which they have just an FYI for EDC Vegas coming up. I don't know if it will be different, but right now you have to wear masks indoors again in Vegas. But then like I know Lollapalooza just happened, and so they did either proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test, which I'm going to touch on this later, but they really didn't have like any huge issues. There was no like major COVID spread or outbreak or anything. So it proved to work. But if I personally wouldn't wear a mask, honestly, if I was outdoors right now. I've been going to the Brooklyn Mirage, and I haven't worn a mask at any of those shows. So if it's outdoors right now, I still feel comfortable not wearing one. But again, that's up to you on how you feel. I asked, are you vaccinated? 324 people are vaccinated. 66 people are not. I said, do you feel safe attending shows this fall? 232 people said yes, and 69 people said no. So again, I personally feel comfortable now that these regulations are in place. I would not feel comfortable if there was an event doing nothing. That would make me nervous. So that's why I'm waiting to see what Imagine Music Festival does, because they haven't said anything yet. So we will see what they do. All right, you guys. Thank you to everybody who voted in that, and everybody that's messaged me. Again, DM me at raveculturecast if you want to chat. Final thoughts on this. I'm going to wrap it up here. Again, at the end of the day, it's a personal choice to go to these events. No one's forcing you to go. If you don't like the rules and regulations, you can't come in, unfortunately. Definitely give these organizers some credit. They're trying to keep, the train on the tracks here. They're trying to keep the industry alive and do things safely. The organizers themselves do not want anybody getting sick or, God forbid, dying. That's the last thing anybody wants. And nobody wants the industry to collapse again or to go back into lockdown. So I think they're doing the best that they can to make sure that we can still have the things that we love, but do them safely. So yeah, I just would say, like, do your research, like really see what's out there, base your opinions on fact and not conspiracy. Again, protect yourself in the best way that you can and that you feel comfortable with. If you're going to go to shows and you want to wear your mask, wear your mask. If you want to hang in the back, hang in the back. If you only want to go to one day and not all 3 days, definitely do that as well. So do what feels right for you. I do think, like, just projecting forward, I think we're clearly going to have more of this. I will be very surprised if there's like any events, maybe a couple that just have no regulations. But again, I think that's going to depend on the state themselves. So we'll see, but I think we're going to have more coming out with these requirements. So get ready for that. And a lot of this is continuing into 2022, as far as I know, because I know the AEG announcement is events and it said Coachella in the spring. So just keep that in mind. And then the other thing is, like, with Lollapalooza, like I just said, we've seen that with having these regulations in place, it's prevented any insane outbreaks, which is really amazing, because God forbid something did happen, then easily Chicago could have been like, we're pulling the plug on the next few festivals, which is ARC and North Coast and a bunch of other ones. So I really, really hope that we're all able to attend festivals safely this fall. Thank you guys again for hearing me out. I really hope I did this topic justice. It's a really tough one to tackle. And again, I know people feel very strongly either way, so I don't want to like disrespect anybody's thoughts or opinions, but this is just how I feel, especially now working inside the industry. Like, I want nothing more than for these events to stay alive and for them to happen, but I also want people to be safe. And I don't want these to be taken away, because we could easily be in a Europe situation very, very quickly. So nobody wants that. Okay. With all that being said, you guys, I'm going to take a super quick break here, and then I will be back with some EDM news. Alrighty, you guys, so let's dive into it. This is all festival news today, pretty much. First and foremost, I'm super excited about this. SXM Festival announced that they are returning in March. Guys, I just did an episode with the founder of SXM, Julian Prince, over on the Festival Insider podcast that I host with Michael Julian. It's a really, really great interview. If you guys didn't know that existed, now you know. We interview like really incredible festival organizers and artists over there, and that usually comes out every other Tuesday. So definitely check that out if you want to know the whole history of SXM. Julian's awesome. So that was a really fun episode. But yeah, it's returning March 9th through the 14th. This is a house and techno festival on the beautiful island of St. Martin. It looks fucking unreal, you guys, and I'm highly tempted to go. It's either going to be Okeechobee or SXM because they are back-to-back weekends. But this festival is like, it's just like a tropical oasis. It's beach parties, it's villa parties, it's boat parties. It's literally like you're on vacation, but you've got incredible house and techno sets. It's also an extremely sustainable event. Like all of the materials used to build the stages are like 90% recyclable. They just find stuff on the island and literally build the stages out of it. So it's really incredible. It's very much immersed in the culture. There's different parties and stuff all over the island. So you can kind of like stay in a villa or a hotel and like party hop. Essentially, it seems incredible. So I don't know. I'm really thinking about going to this. But yeah, that's coming up. So super excited for that. What else? We just heard this news. I talked about it a little bit before, but Elro Town unfortunately was canceled and is going to be moved to next summer. So I just wanted to read through this. This is the London Town show that they do. It said, "We are truly heartbroken to announce that the cancellation of Elro Town London 2021. Our friends at Enfield Council are no longer able to provide use of Trent Park after a previous event at the venue on August 8th caused severe damage to the site. The council believes that it is impossible for the necessary repairs to take place in time for the show to go ahead." And they released a whole statement on it. It said, "We know this news will be as devastating to you as it has been to us, especially after we've all waited so long to finally get back together. We've been working hard alongside all of our artists, suppliers, and partners to bring you the best comeback festival imaginable. And we all share your disappointment at this enormously frustrating situation." They basically said it will come back August 20th and 21st, 2022. And you're going to be able to exchange your ticket. So that was not COVID related. That was literally damage to the site. I was reading through some of their comments as well, and it sounded like because it was very soon. Because of that, they were not able for that size of an event to find another location in time. So my heart goes out to them because I know how hard the Elro team works. So that one was really, really hard. Okay, Electric Zoo. Let's talk after parties because I've never seen a more fucking stacked lineup, you guys. It's painful. It's painful because I can't go. I'm going to be at ARC the same weekend, but I'm doing a full video. It actually is probably out at this point, a full Q&A all about Electric Zoo. So if you guys are attending and you have questions, definitely check that out. But I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So essentially, you're going to have all of these after parties at the Avant-Gardner venue, which is the Great Hall. Then you have the Brooklyn Mirage. Then you have King's Hall. It's all in the same area. They're just 3 different venues on the site. So you've got a pre-party on Thursday with Sam Felt. That's so much fun. Friday, these are your choices. And they very clearly divided this by genre so that hopefully there wouldn't be too many conflicts. Also, I'm assuming... So tickets are only available to festival pass holders. I'll double check, but usually you have to buy tickets to each of those venues because they're separate. But sometimes... if you go to the Brooklyn Mirage, you also have access to King's Hall because it's right next to it. So I'm not sure if you can go to like any of these because you just buy tickets once or if you buy them separately. I'll find out. But essentially on Friday night, these are your choices. You can go to the Brooklyn Mirage, which is the outdoor open air venue. And that is Fisher, Rebuke, Martin Eichen, and Charles Meyer. Holy fuck. Are you kidding me, bitch? If you are into house music or techno, Rebuke is extremely high up on my list of artists I need to see. He's fucking crushing it. Martin Eichen and Fisher and Charles Meyer, incredible house artists. That is stacked. Then in the Great Hall, you have Zed's Dead, Peekaboo, Blunts and Blondes, Yultron, and Champa. Heavy fucking hitters. If you guys are into bass music, that's an incredible lineup. Then in the King's Hall, which is the smaller venue, you're going to have a Brownies and Lemonade takeover. Amazing. All special guests all night long. And then also at Quantum Brooklyn, it's a special guest to be announced. That's a separate venue in Brooklyn. It's extremely small, but very intimate vibes, very underground, if you would like that. And then at Webster Hall, you've got Ecali, Shipwreck, and Jules. If it were me, I would obviously go to the Fisher, Rebuke, Martin Eichen show. but that Zed's Dead one, I know people who are already planning to go to that. Saturday, you have at the Brooklyn Mirage, Test Pilot, which is deadmau5's techno alias, Art Bat and Local Dialect. Wow. In the Great Hall, again, it's your bass heads. You got Zomboy, Dirt Monkey, Blank, Enzo, and Mize. And then in King's Hall, this is what I would go to. You have John Summit, Kyle Kinch, and Dishetto. Really incredible. Actually, no, I'm torn now. Then at Quantum Brooklyn, which is the smaller venue, you have Sonny Fodera, West End, Love and Logic, and Aki. What? They made it impossible to choose. And then at Webster Hall, you have Audience, Zach Martino, and Harbor. Like, really, you can't go wrong. And then lastly, guys, on Sunday, September 5th at the Brooklyn Mirage, you have Cashmere with Nitty Gritty, Afaya, and Night Tales. That is stacked. In the Great Hall, right now it's just Adventure Club and the other 4 names are blurred out, but you can expect them to be incredible bass artists. And then at Quantum Brooklyn, you have Dom Dalla, Mason Maynard, and Quarter back-to-back Devin James. Wow. Again, Quarter, she's an incredible up-and-coming house artist, and Mason Maynard, same thing. He's absolutely killing it. And then at Webster Hall, you have Alan Walker, Over Easy, and Mind Tricks. So I'm reading this all to say I am obsessed with what they put together, and this is incredible. You can only attend these events if you're a ticket holder, again, for EZoo. So do not sleep on that. If you're in the area, get your tickets to these events because that shit is going to sell out so fast. And again, you literally cannot go wrong. All right, I got to wrap this up. We got the Boo Seattle lineup. So that is going to be taking place October 29th and 30th. Really incredible. You've got some bass house, tech house. You've got some trap on here, some melodic dubstep on here. Pretty great dubstep, but just in general. I mean, this lineup is actually really fucking stacked. So that's on sale as of right now. And then had to throw this out here, Brooklyn Mirage fam. I'm pretty sure I'm going to this show because all my friends want to go. But Anjuna Deep announced a massive open air show at the Brooklyn Mirage on Friday, October 1st. Absolutely stacked lineup. You got Ben Bomer, Cry, Durante, Back-to-Back Hannah, Joseph Ray, Lauren Mia, Leaving Laurel, Marsh, Knox Vaughn, Olan, and Tin Liquor. So I believe that's the second to last day that the Brooklyn Mirage is open because it closes in October. I will be there. Hope to see you guys there. And I think that's pretty much it. We'll end on that note. Thank you guys again so much for listening and for hearing me out. If I could ask 2 things of you, if you guys really resonated with this episode or you appreciated it, please share this with a friend or make this your Instagram stories and tag at raveculturecast. I spread the word of this podcast organically through the community, so it's tremendously helpful when you guys tell people about it. Writing a review helps as well. So thank you. If you could take a couple seconds to rate and review on iTunes, that's a huge, huge help. And of course, connect with us online. I want to hear from you. I want you to be a part of the community. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at raveculturecast. We have a Discord group as well. And we're going to be planning some meetups for the fall. So I can't wait to meet you all in person. It's going to be so fun. I think that's it. Merch on the way. I'm working on a new merch line, but you guys can shop the original collection and the Plur Mini collection. Links will be down below, along with a link to Rolita Couture. Again, huge shout out to them, you guys. That Lunita Part 2 collection is fucking stunning, and I can't wait to wear it at a festival soon. So definitely check them out. RolitaCouture.com, code MK for 15% off your orders. All right, you guys, stay safe out there. Be healthy. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and I will be back next Wednesday with a new episode. Bye, guys.